Let me tell you guys a quick little story. One of my students came up to me last night, and he was late for practice, and he was all banged up. I said, "What happened to you?" He's like, "Some guy pushed me off my bike." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I was passing under a bridge, and the guy was jogging, and I was passing by him, and he pushed me off my bike." I'm like, "Why did he push you?" He said, the guy pushed him unapologetically. I'm like, "Was it an accident? Did you like spook him and he kind of had a reflex?" No, no, no. The guy pushed him and cursed him and told him off and said, "Look, you can't ride your bike on this path. It's for walking and jogging only. You have to get off your bike." Supposedly there was a sign that says like, "Cyclists, you have to disembark from your bike when you pass under the bridge." Still, that doesn't warrant you pushing. Like, it obviously doesn't warrant him being pushed off the bike. You could have killed the kid. And he told me, he's like, "I wish I had the confidence to fight him, but he's a very good jiu-jitsu player. Very good. Super, super good." And I was like, "Well, man," I was like, I was so angry. I was like, "Where is he now?" And like, he's like, "I don't know. He's gone." I was like, man, I was so angry. I was like, I wanted to go find that guy right now. And he's like, "Oh, I wish I had, I wish I could have, he wanted to deck him." And I was like, "Look, I tell you guys all the time, I don't care if you're just a grappler. I don't care if you're just a grappler. Your world goal, your life goal is to be Abu Dhabi world champion. You should still box. You should still do some boxing, some Muay Thai. You absolutely have to. It's your duty." Why? Things like this can happen. It could have been worse. Maybe the guy pushes him off the bike and starts kicking him and punching him and slapping him. And it's like he knows they're in the middle of nowhere now. They're under a bridge, guys. Cars are passing. Nobody's gonna hear you call for help or whatnot. Nobody's intervening. This is just you and some crazy guy. And he's never thrown a punch. He's never been punched. He doesn't know what it is. When you don't know what it is, you're very tentative. It's normal, very normal. When I was doing jiu-jitsu back in the day, every so often our instructor would make us do like open hand pancrase slapping with takedowns and take the guy down and kind of use your, we wouldn't hit hard, but we kind of play around with it and slap and kick and making sure not to hurt each other. But we'd scrap like MMA. Why? Because jiu-jitsu back then, there was no jiu-jitsu tournaments, and it was all about self-defense, defending yourself, fighting a kickboxer, how you're going to take him down, where you're going to have to strike with him a bit. So it was all geared towards self-defense and protecting yourself and fighting. Yeah, there were some grappling tournaments, but there was no prestige to it. It wasn't like, there was no Abu Dhabi back in the day. When I started doing jiu-jitsu, Abu Dhabi had just come in, and it was like it wasn't that popular, Every martial artist should know how to fight standing and on the ground. We're done with the days where you just know ground or you just know standing. That's done. You absolutely need both. I highly recommend guys who are doing grappling, do some boxing, even if it's just shadow boxing, even if it's just hitting the bag. Have some competence and work your way slowly to a little sparring so you can know what it is to get hit, what it's like to make a fist and throw a punch. You absolutely need to master this. Why? Because one day some guy is going to do something crazy, like what happened to my student the other day, and you're going to be glad you could defend yourself because, lucky for him, it wasn't worse. Maybe the guy, maybe the next guy takes it even further. Maybe the next guy, he attacks him physically and wants to punch him. Not only push him off a bike and curse him. No. He wants to he wants to fight you. He's offended. You will wish you took my advice. Okay. And also, guys, in the future, you're going to have a wife, you're going to have a girlfriend, you're going to have kids, you're going to have you need to know how to protect yourself and your loved ones. This is a man's duty. This is absolutely 100% a man's duty. There is no man in the world who doesn't have this duty. And if you think you don't have this duty, you're kidding yourself. Every single man should know how to defend himself and his family and his loved ones, and he should be ready to do it till the death. You should be ready to go to the end. Every man should have this in his psyche. Now, I'm not saying you should use it. I'm not saying you should apply it. But if it comes to defending yourself, somebody's trying to harm you, and look, in Canada, we just had a horrible, I don't even want to mention it. We had a horrible knife attack. 2 individuals attacked, I think it was like 25 people or something like that. It's an incredible, I can't even imagine how it went down. Like, I haven't looked at all the details yet, but I'm really not looking forward to it. There was a massive amount of, I think 15 people died, and I think over like 10 were wounded. It was just a horrible. And I was asking myself when I saw the headlines, I was like, how did they get to so many victims? How? Didn't anybody, like, I don't have all the details yet. I haven't gone through it, but it's hard to imagine that nobody picked up a chair. Nobody, like, what were these guys doing? Were they going place to place? Or did they Again, I don't know the details. Was it in a public place? I mean, a gun I could understand, but a knife, man, that's really difficult to go and do that to that many people. You have to absolutely know how to defend yourself. You never know what's going to come your way. And not only that, guys, I'll tell you one thing. When you're well trained and you're confident, life is better. Every day, every minute of your life is better. Every minute. Because if something comes your way, you can handle yourself. That's such a great feeling. The feeling of being independent. I don't beg anybody for money. I don't rely on anybody. I can rely on myself. That's such a great feeling. Why? Because you've developed your competence. Whatever it is you feel insecure about, it's a lack of some type of competence. You need to attack it. You need to become competent in that domain. Until now, you're worry free about it. So it can happen. It can work on every level. Every level. If you're worried about your finances, read 100 business books. If you're worried about getting armbarred, get on the mat and do armbar situation and research different ways to escape armbar. Travel, find somebody who's really good at escaping armbar, learn from them. Do armbar situation till you don't. It could be anything in life. It could be absolutely anything in life. Anything that you feel that you're not good at. You have to attack that incompetence and you got to turn it into competence. And it's the same thing with fighting. If you don't know how to make a fist and punch a guy, well, like everybody else, you got to learn. Doesn't mean you're going to be a world champion boxer. No, but you got to have a high level of competence in self-defense. Guys, life is better when you know how to defend yourself. Life is just better. There's nothing worse than being bullied. There's nothing worse than being kicked around. And the only thing worse than that is not being able to protect your loved ones. Imagine that. Imagine one of your loved ones on a bike and you're present and he or she gets pushed off the bike, gets stepped on, kicked, spat on, and the guy leaves and you're there. You're doing nothing about it. Why? You don't know how to make a fist. You don't know what to do. I was watching this one video about a weirdest video I've ever seen. Like a monkey. I don't know. So a monkey was attacking a 2-year-old child. Like something like I was scrolling on Reddit and I saw this video. I was shocked. I was like, what is like this 2-year-old child got grabbed by the monkey and then the mother comes running. She grabs the child out of the monkey's hands. She's kind of like kicking the monkey. And then this man comes to try to rescue the mother and the child. And he's kind of throwing these weak kicks at the monkey. And you can see he's super scared. And he's running away while the monkey's still grabbing onto the woman and child. And then he kind of comes back and he throws this little weak, little wimpy kick. And he's kind of like running away. He's running away before the woman and child is already, before they're rescued. He was as worried about himself as he was. I would say he was more worried about himself than he was of the woman and child. Now, in my opinion, that's just because he's so poorly. He didn't grow up wrestling. He didn't grow up in martial arts. He didn't grow up feeling pain. So for him, if the monkey grabs his leg, he doesn't know what it's going to feel like. If the monkey bites him, it's so like his imagination is so running wild. You can see he's overloaded with the situation. He's so unprepared for this situation. And it's all caught on video. His cowardice is caught on video. It's a really, really sad thing. Like, man, if that was me, man, I'd be so furious with myself. I would be so beside myself. I would be like, man, I would be like finding a way to undo it all. Like I'd become an animal trainer or something. I don't know what I would do. I'd have to think about it, but I would definitely punish myself in training. I would definitely put myself through the fire. Like couldn't live with myself like that. I could not live with myself. Now, I'm not saying if a fight breaks out, you should be the first one in. No, but you should be able to defend yourself. You should be ready to defend yourself and your loved ones. Anything else, my friend, is a little death. It's a death upon a little death and upon another little death. Make sure that you're able to defend yourself and your loved ones.